Let's move on to a big SEC 7 p.m. spot. Mississippi State Bulldogs 1-3 in the SEC. And number 2, Alabama Crimson Tide 5-0 in the SEC. Mississippi State coming off a bye week, so they've had a couple weeks to prepare for Alabama. We last saw them suffering their third straight loss, 28-14 at home to Texas A&M. Alabama 5-0, 5 double-digit wins, coming off a 48-17 win at Tennessee. John Ryan, Mississippi State Crimson Tide, take it away.
Bet the Alabama Tide. I see this game again as just a complete mismatch, and the points aren't enough. This is one of those years that you can actually make a case that some people are really starting to question Alabama's defense because they've been giving up a lot of points, a lot of yards. But when your offense is as good as what they're putting up, and in terms of numbers, the metrics, these yards of separation from a defender, and I could go on and on, they're right up there. I'd actually put them ahead of Clemson. So it's no joke what they're doing on offense, and this could be one of Saban's biggest or best offensive units that he's ever had at Alabama. So that's the part that I think. If you ever heard somebody say Alabama's underrated, you'd probably run away and hide because that makes no sense at all. But this year, this actually may be the case on the offensive side. And I don't see how in the world Mississippi State is going to be able to contain them for 60 minutes. We've seen teams do a quarter, and you go, oh, my God, this 24-point dog is in the game with Alabama. But then you go get a sandwich and you come back and it's 40-17 and you wonder what the hell happened. And it's just really hard to bet against Alabama unless you get some situations that are just so strong, and you got 80% of the public on Alabama, and it just sets the stage for a much closer game. But I don't think Mississippi State is that team.
Bet 365 opened this up as Alabama 32-point favorites. That's down to 31 right now. This total at 64.5. Noli knows Bulldogs, Crimson Tide. Is there a move for you?
I mean, last week I did make a move on Alabama in the first half. I mean, if we want to continue to ride that, I think that's a move. I mean, Alabama looks the part. Mac Jones looks really impressive over there at QB. And for Mississippi State, I think the book has been out. You look at the SEC teams, they've been able to stall them out all for the first game. They went off against LSU, but, I mean, everybody was going off against LSU. Here in this game, I think it's a tough task for Michigan State. I think Alabama continues to roll. I mean, they're scoring in pretty much every quarter, doing whatever they want offensively. They're a very high-powered offense, and I think they'll be able to shut them down, and Alabama's the side, man.
Alabama for both John and Noli. C-Mac, anything for you here?
Same thing. Bama's rolling. I had him first half last week. Sometimes the full games, I don't know. I mean, they look great. I mean, it's 30.5. They probably still cover that. Just throwing that out there. But, yeah, that's all I have here. Bama.
A lot of Bama backers here, even at the 31-point spread.